If I can I set some context and, sorry Rory, some facts as well. And there's two humongous numbers on here, 4 billion and 5 trillion. 4 billion people live in the base of the pyramid, living on between $0 and $8 a day based on purchasing power parity. And they have an annual spend in purchasing power parity of $5 trillion, which, just for point of comparison, as an Englishman, is 2.5 times the size of the UK GDP. From a static point of view, it is absolutely tragic, of course, that there are 4 billion people in this world living in poverty. But we prefer to look at them, as indeed they look at themselves, with hope and optimism. And we don't see them as an amorphous mass of poor, rather as a very large group of individuals with characteristics and aspirations. And as you can see, humongous spending power. And this is a chart that the Brookings Institute put together last year, looking at or projecting how the split of global purchasing power could emerge over the next 10 years. And very much from this chart, you can see we do not see them as the perpetually poor, but rather as the emerging or the future middle-class consumers. And obviously from this chart, and as everybody in this room knows, the so-called emerging economies will drive global growth in the future. Another way to look at it, this is the World Bank's perspective, and they tier it. They tier the bottom of the pyramid groups into these tiers, and clearly the lower tiers on that chart still need aid and development assistance in order to survive. The top 70%, however, are ready to join the market economy. They are the emerging consumer class of the future. And the way in which we look at it in TNS, we simplify it really into 3 segments, strivers, fighters, and strugglers. And it's that top 2 segments, the strivers and the fighters, which represent the 70% on the previous chart from the World Bank, the emerging consumer class of the future, between $1 and $8 a day. And within that, our focus today, and the stories we're going to tell, is on the strivers, those who are next in line to come into the middle class. Very much we define them as educated, with semi-regular income, live near the next tier, the middle class, and have begun to own consumer goods. That's our primary target market and our primary target market for our stories today. And where do these people live at the moment in the world? Well, the way in which it's split, the dominant proportion of bottom of the pyramid people live in India, approximately 40%, but with substantial chunks in China, in Africa, and in Latin America. So we want to bring you 2 stories today to illustrate this, and they are based on lived realities that have been uncovered from our research. I hope you enjoy them.